Hey there creative people, welcome to this video where I am going to create a local web server with Raspberry Pi 3 Module B. So this project has been my first IoT based project, and in this video I am going to serve you the workflow of this project with some of the error detecting and bug fixes. This project is developed in a group of 3 people where represented an equal contribution in research and development for this project. I will also share our personalized step guide for this project. So this is it, and let's jump to our video. Before we move forward, let's get introduced to the step guide we have prepared to provide a better explanation of this project steps. There have been a lot of research from the team members, and please appreciate by watching the full video. Let's go through what we are going to require for building our web server. At first, we are going to require our main component, that is Raspberry Pi having 1 GB RAM with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi support. Then also, we require a SD card of minimum 8 GB. I am using 16 GB in this case, and a card adapter to flash our Raspberry Pi operating system. The general component like USB Type B to power our Pi, the keyboard and the mouse to access the operating system, and lastly we require HDMI cable to connect to the secondary monitor. And also, if your Raspberry Pi doesn't have a Wi-Fi support, then you have to require an Ethernet cable to connect our router and Raspberry Pi. Now let's set up our connection and flash our SD card on the other hand. In order to use our SD card, we need to format it. I am using SD formatter in this case, but you can use any other software, they will work effectively. After formatting is done, we need to download our Raspberry Pi operating system. I will share the link in the description from where you can download the same. Now I am going to use Etcher to flash my downloaded image file. This process takes time. For me, it took 15 to 20 minutes based on your operating system and your Raspberry Pi. Note down the IP address from the secondary monitor of the Raspberry Pi that is connected to the Wi-Fi, so that our primary computer or a laptop from which we are working can easily get connected to the secondary, that is a Raspberry Pi, and access the same. At first, we gonna need to install PuTTY for SSH, that is Secure Shell Scripting. As I am using Windows, but if you are using Linux or Mac, then you can directly use your terminal to connect it. Enter username and password of the Pi. The default username is Pi and default password is Raspberry. After connecting, we are going to update the system. This also takes few minutes and also allows every requirement it suggests. If everything went good, now we are going to install the Apache 2 web server. Apache web server powers around 40% of the website around the world. Its first version is released around 1995 by Apache Software Foundation. It's also officially called as Apache HTTP server. After installing the Apache 2 server and Apache library, we need to install Python and Django respectively to use the web application made from it. In order to use our web application work systematically, we need to arrange a folder structure after creating a Django project. Now the important part of this server is to set up the configuration file accordingly, so that the server can easily access the required files over project. Make sure after all this you restart the Apache 2 server and allow the particular server IP address in settings.py to host your web application. So now we are able to achieve to get installed the Django on our Raspberry Pi, but we have to check whether it is working as an actual server with uploading the real website into it. To do that, we need to install CyberDuck. CyberDuck is an intermediate for transferring of file from one system to another. We are transmitting this file with secure cells FTTP option. After connecting to that server, we need to upload our web application files to the Raspberry Pi server. After achieving this stage, we need to finally configure the changes in the configuration file. Before doing that, make sure you install the requirements for the website that's stated in the requirements.txt file. Also, now we need to change the ownership of our database so that we get the access of the full website without throwing an error. After doing all these things, again restart the server. If everything goes fine, then check out the website running on the server IP address. If anything goes wrong, make sure you check the error.log file whose location is already mentioned in the configuration file. So we have now created our local web server, but it can be only available to that device that is connected in my LAN network. In order to make it available for everyone over the internet, I have to use the concept of port forwarding. But I'm not going through that in this video. So this is this for the video. Detailed project description of this project and step guide is already mentioned in the description. So if you want, you can check out, and thank you for watching it full. If you like it, share it and hit the like button. Thank you.